Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Roundup. This is another inside look of on the field with we today we have a very special guest. His name is Daniel Powis. He did march in the 2024 edition of Cincinnati Tradition. All right, Daniel, welcome to the podcast.
Hi there. Thank you for having me.
Hey, you're welcome. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. How was your 2024 season?
Um, I think it was definitely our best season that I've been a part of, not just in numbers, but of attitude and how everything happened.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome.
hmm
So, how did you get your start in music and marching arts?
Yeah. So my start in the independent, or I started marching in high school. Um, did that for 4 years. And I started marching independently. In 2019 2020 um, with a winds group who I will not name, but COVID happened. Then a couple years later, joined this winds group again. Um, then it falls through for various reasons. And my music tech, who turned out to be the trumpet tech for CT in 22, is like, hey, I'm the guy in charge of this section. You should come and join it. And I was like, okay, I've got nothing else to do.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so I just showed up to like the first February camp, and I've been doing it ever since.
Nice.
hmm
So, what is one of your favorite things about Cincinnati tradition?
Um, Definitely the community that we hold. Um, at least in Brassland, I can't speak for the guard and percussion, but we've always tried to I've always tried to at least make friends with as many people as I can, because we're all here for the same reasons, to get good and have fun, and might as well get to know everybody in the process.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
How long have you been marching?
uh about 8-10 years, something in
Okay.
between that.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you play trumpet, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet, sweet. What makes the marching arts special to you?
um I think it is a great outlet um to foster experience, but also camaraderie between multiple groups and people from various different backgrounds. We had people who work your regular 9 to 5, high school kids, just everyone from everywhere in different states and different communities, all combining together to do what we love, which was to play the music, do the dance, have fun.
That's
And
cool.
mhm, I
Go
think,
ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, you're fine. Um, and I think it's a great way. I'm losing my train of thought. Um, and it's left the station.
No, you're good. You're good.
um, but it's a great way to find a community that cares about helping each other get to the next level, but also anybody can do it. We've had people who barely knew how to march or play a trumpet, mellophone, baritone, whatever, woodwind players, various different people come here, learn how to march, and they some of them are off doing world class now.
That's really cool.
Hmm. It's always nice to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. What were your thoughts on the tradition transition from DCA to DCI?
Hmm. Uh, I can't say much about the experience. The only big change that really happened for us, because most of our shows are in Ohio, and we've been doing Ohio shows for how many ever years. Um, but the biggest change was instead of going to Rochester, we're going to Indianapolis and performing at Lucas Oil.
And how was that experience for you guys?
Um, it was definitely a little bit surreal ending in August instead of the first weekend of September. Um, there was definitely a bit more of a compressed and lengthened time schedule
Mm-hmm.
because we were losing 3 weeks. Now we have to put that into wherever we can, essentially.
Mm. And was that compression of time hard to adjust to as a core as a whole, or how do you think that went?
I think we made the adjustment pretty well. Um, we just had to wake up an hour earlier than the year previously.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was the travel to India? Like, when did you leave and all that?
For just weekend to weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so usually I get up at 7 in the morning to make an 8:30 deadline, picking up a friend who needs a ride. Because I live about an hour to an hour 10 away from the site, depending on where we
Okay.
rehearse.
Okay.
Uh, but there are some people who come all the way from Michigan to do this activity.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's quite a distance.
Oh yeah,
I know the director of Northern Lights was a part of that in
yeah, Doug.
2022,
I
correct?
marched with him. I marched with Doug in 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they drove 8 hours each way, and it's crazy to think how they did it now.
I
If
don't
I'm
get how
being
people do
honest.
that. Like the other week I had on um a guy that marked in Fusion. He drove a
Mhm.
9 hours each way. I'm like, how do you do it?
It,
That's just crazy to me.
honestly, it's the love of the activity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What was your favorite part of the 2024 season?
Um, honestly, just marching in Lucas Oil again.
Mm,
My high school, we did BOA, even if we were one of the lower ranking bands. It's still great to be on that field
okay.
and to just be in a dome. It's weird because it's dry and also live at the same time. Like you play your sound, it gets sucked up into the void, and you hear it reverberate about half a second later.
Hmm. What are you most looking forward to for the 2025 season?
Hmm. Personally, I am trying to become a Viz staff, but I'm
Oh,
still waiting
okay.
for them to put the call out on that.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, I'd like to give back to the community that's given to me
Okay.
and that I've put time and effort into.
Yeah. Now, are you still going to march if you're on the Viz staff then?
Um, I've heard this is only speculation though that they're not going to allow staff to march
Oh, okay.
because yeah, this
Okay.
upcoming year, but I'm not sure how solid that is.
Mm.
But if I could, uh, definitely I would consider it.
Why is that they won't allow staff to march?
Um, hmm, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I only heard it from our staff. So,
Oh, okay. I
however, if
got
it's
you.
false, I would love to march again.
Okay, cool. That'd be awesome.
Mhm.
What makes marching at Cincinnati tradition unique?
Um, the most part, um, we have more of an attitude of get the job done and do it well. And our goal every weekend is to add more to the show, add more production value, clean more to make us better, see what we can do to add in. Um, but hmm, I think the biggest difference from doing CT is compared to just wins is we have more of a culture of hey, we need to lock it down because our instructor is like 50 yards away from us and they have to yell. So we have to be a bit more attentive to that as to where wins, it's just more, hey, we're all on this gym floor together. Uh, it's cool, chillax a little bit, but still stay locked in.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Very cool. What do you have any audition tips for a future prospective member?
Yeah, show up, uh, be prepared for anything. I know that's saying a bunch of nothing, but show up and expect not knowing what to do at first. Um, but as long as you put in the effort, the time, and you have the right approach, necessarily as not as insane that there's one right way, but as long as you come looking to better yourself, I believe you would have a spot in joining the Corps.
Okay. What is the audition process at Cincinnati?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how it is across world class cores. I know the general consensus is we're gonna put you through a whole day of drum corps. We're gonna see how you do, and if it meets our expectations, you're in. But for CT, we've just it's we start with Vig. You're gonna warm up with us. I believe this past year, our brass caption head, he took people aside during uh, music. Um, you get a music packet that after you register and pay for all the things. And have a music packet. I believe you're expected to have um, two smaller etudes, one technical, one lyrical, or pieces that you can play very well that shows your skill level and ability and just where you're at. And as long as you show up to get better, you're more than likely going to be in.
Okay. Is it a hard process to get? to become a member?
Um, I think the hardest thing is just consistently showing up weekend after weekend, and it gets easier as the season goes on.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
What is a typical rehearsal schedule for Cincinnati?
Yeah, so we rehearse Saturday, Sunday only.
Okay.
Um, this past year, which is more than likely what's going to represent next year and the years to come, we had a 3.5 hour morning Viz block where we warm up, hit a spot in the show. If we're just starting out drill, we'll learn some more drill. Um, go to lunch at uh, we we'd start practice at 9, so 12:30, get back 1:30, do some music, practice the music, uh, get everyone sounding uniform and like a drum corps. Um, then 1:30 to 5, that would be our music block. And later on in the season, it we'd have more movement instead of just standing around and playing. So we do music on the move, um, which is just hitting show chunks that from a more play the thing standpoint rather than march the thing standpoint. Uh, and after those two blocks, around 5 o'clock, we go to dinner, come back 6 o'clock to 9 for ensemble, and that's Saturday. And Sundays are kind of a whatever needs hit. We still do warm ups, but the first block is half. It's half fish, half music, and the second block is music warm up for half an hour or guard warm up or whatever, and then we'd all ensemble for about the last 2 hours ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time are rehearsals on Sunday then, normally?
Sunday, I believe we start practice the same time. It's about 9 to 5.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
or
basically
10 to 6.
9 to 9 Saturday and then 9 to 5 Sunday then?
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
okay, cool. Okay. And then what does a typical, like when you guys have a show day, what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah. So this past year, which has been a change to years prior, my N22 and 23, at least from my experience, we just show up, warm up, go to the show, hurrah, you're done. Um, but this past year, we have been practicing mornings of the show day if you can
Okay.
make it. If you can't make it, that's fine.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so it's not it's required, but if you have something that is just an immovable object meets an unstoppable force type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
then obviously go do your livelihood because money is a bit more important, only slightly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you travel on buses to the different competitions in Ohio? Or how do you guys work that out?
For a bunch of the more local shows, like there, it's summer music games in Mason or Soaring Sounds in Centerville. We just you can carpool, or we just all drive ourselves.
Oh,
But
okay.
for some of the shows in like we had two shows, one in Orville and one in we had two shows that were northeasternly Ohio. I forget what one of them is off the top of my head. But we took buses to those,
Okay.
um, and the weekends were back to back, which was kind of nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the show date, uh, we would just rehearse for a couple hours. Um, then I believe we had an hour and a half of free time, get cleansed, get your food, get your butt in a seat, and leave for the show. Then we would go to the show and get back around midnight, 1 o'clock to where rehearsal location was, and we'd have a later rehearsal time the next morning.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. I know it's like a couple of people I talked to, they didn't change their rehearsal time Sunday, and they got like home at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then 9 o'clock they're back into rehearsal, and that's just crazy.
Yeah,
That's
um,
wild.
I I've definitely been there before. I do not envy it.
Yeah, I bet. What are your thoughts on DCI All Ages as a whole?
Um, on it, um, I think it creates a more even playing field uh, for groups that say, "What if you're from California and you only showed up to championships or from England?" Judges had no idea how you were going to do
Mm-hmm.
back when DCA was a thing.
Oh,
And
okay.
that rang true for a lot of the time for Cincinnati tradition. In 23, we were fortunate enough to have one DCA show here um, in Ohio that I believe the Saints hosted, which was great. Um, but with DCI taking over the reins, there are more shows for people to have a chance to go to and score
Mm-hmm.
and compete, and for judges to get familiar with you. And it just widens the area that people can show up, come to championships. You did like one show back in July, cool. Um, Show up and compete and have a good time.
Okay. What's it like marching on the same field as like the Blue Coats or Boston Crusaders or Carolina Crown and going on before them? And isn't that so cool to be integrated into that now as an all age group?
Yeah, it is. Um, but we give a talk before the first shows to any high schoolers, any younger kids in the group. They're like, "Hey, uh, we're in the same boat now. We're all in this drum corps boat together.
Mm-hmm.
We are not. We are not simply better, nor are they better than us. No matter what, we all act cool around each other." And this is mainly for the newer people, and we'll give examples. Um, my rookie year, we had a kid just straight up bowed down to the blue coats, and we had at the it was the first show of the season, July 5th, up in Canton or Akron area ish. Had a kid just bow to the blue coats, and whether or not it was a joke, we just had to have the talk of, hey, we're in the same boat. Don't worry. Don't treat them like gods. They're band kids just like you who once held themselves in the same regard.
That's cool.
Um, yeah.
Okay.
But just walking on the field, it's breathtaking.
I bet.
You come out of uh, the side one tunnel. I believe I'm saying that right, and you just come out and lights pouring down from every angle imaginable. You look up the ceiling, it's just gigantic. The space is unimaginably huge. And you really get this sense of, man, of just humility.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's really cool.
yes. And to just take it all in right before the show, there's
Mm,
just nothing else like it.
yeah. It's really cool because like I think like all the changes that have happened these past couple years with the DCA and the DCI and just seeing I think it was a huge success for the 2024 season for
Oh
all the
yeah,
groups. I think it's going to be yield to bigger numbers this year too, which I'm
oh
excited to
yeah.
see.
Honestly, if I'm hoping to see more people check out DCI All Age
Hmm.
and just
I
sell
hope
out
so.
the sections.
Yes. I'm interested to see how the new m- membership minimum is going to change stuff for the smaller groups. Have you seen anything about in regards to that?
Yeah. Um. This is just what I think on the matter, but I believe it's to push sound sport a bit more. So, like,
Okay.
hey, do sound sport, grow your group from here,
Hmm.
then come be all age if you want to.
Yeah.
And what's nice to see is we already have two groups in that process. Um, Northern Lights, which I've been fond of and just heavily entertained by. I can't wait
Yeah.
to potentially compete against them.
I'm excited to see how this show is going to be.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
really excited. I think it's going to be really good.
yeah. I have a picture of their music rep somewhere, but
Mm.
um, I think a major holdoff was just going to compete. I already spoke about what the major holdoff for DCA was, but it's the change is I'm not sure honestly. It's
Oh,
going to be
okay.
interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to see the newer groups that are coming in the all age. Like, I hope they can hit. Like, I know for Steel City, I think they're gonna be hitting their numbers. I hope so. I had Ben on the last week is actually, and
Hmm.
I can't believe he's 21 and leading the core. That is just incredible.
Yeah, I believe the director of Boise Gyms is in a similar age
Hmm.
group of just young 20s, which is the age I find myself to be in.
Okay, cool, cool.
So yeah, I can't imagine being 21 and just reviving a core.
Yeah, he's got. I'm excited to see how they do. I really hope they can hit the
Mhm.
numbers to compete in all age. I can't wait to see them this year.
Yeah, and there's definitely more groups popping up within just the activity as a whole.
Hmm.
Same with wins. We
Yeah.
had yeah, we already have 34 groups registered for WGI wins championships.
How many groups?
34.
Wow.
Yeah, it's growing. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mhm.
Are you doing a wins group this year?
Yeah, I march with Valhalla Winds also.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. This past weekend, I helped out with a little recruitment table at a local competition in Miamisburg.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
For those of you who don't know, that's kind of the break between Dayton and Cincinnati.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. So, what's the difference between marching in indoor winds and and then in drum corps? Like, how is that?
Well, you have no hands to look at, but that's okay because you can actually listen back to the track
Mm,
for tempo and
okay.
be right. The degradation of time is not as is rarely prevalent on a gym floor.
Mm,
Um, but also marching on a tarp is an interesting experience because uh, a big thing in practicing on a tarp is you have to pull it about once every hour, half an hour, depending on what kind of movements you're making.
oh, okay.
Yeah, to just keep a nice flattened plane. Um,
Mm,
but also a major difference is it's a bit more dance orient, depending on what you're doing in the show. There's more there are more techniques involved that are used, but um, they're hammered on a bit more. Um, like you have your outdoor coupe and you have your indoor coupe, which is a bit more precise. But I just believe you can be precise no matter where you are.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Um,
Well,
a big thing that most groups do indoor as well is they primarily march toe down, uh, which is a better impact point for it helps compress the impact a bit better than just marching heel toe all the time.
mhm.
Like outside, we march heel down because, uh, well, if you march toe down, you have a better chance of slipping in the rain. I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
that's the only reason. Um, but it just heavily depends on the skill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How?
But
Go ahead.
yeah, my favorite thing about indoor wins is especially at WJI champs, everybody is just rooting for each other, and it's one of the best things to experience and be a
Mm,
part of. That you don't really get to see a lot of during drum corps. Drum corps, it's a bit more militaristic
mm-hmm.
and keeping up appearances, which is great.
Yeah.
I think it's great for DCI.
Mm-hmm.
But for indoor wins, since the background is merely more artistic and seeing how much stuff we can get away with putting on floor sometimes, it's a bit more. Um, you're allowed to just keep up the appearance of joy more. Um, because I know different courts have different rules and whatnot. At least where I've come from. Uh, in drum corps, you're nice uh, out of competition. In wins, you're nice all the time.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think indoor is like I've been really watching, started watching Wings last year
Hmm.
on my first. Like I watched seen a couple clips on YouTube, but watching Wings more, it's these groups are doing some amazing shows, and it's like wow.
Yeah. Um,
Like I watched Avon show last year, and the way they threw their horns, I'm like, how are they doing that and not dropping the horns? I was like, wow.
yeah. As a person who's just done some crazy stuff and been on like props that are 6 feet off the ground, it just takes practice. Honestly, you can do anything with practice.
Yeah.
Um, 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 but yeah, it's nice getting to see all of the groups pop up. One of my favorite shows pertaining to the Winds realm, Rhythm X 2018 with a twist.
Okay.
There's just so much stuff going on,
Mm.
and it's kind of a thing where everywhere you look, there's just something different going on here and here. Like the
Mm,
woodwinds are the
okay.
front, the brass are running circles in the back. They have little hip capes that they utilize in a show, which was not revolutionary, but most groups weren't seen doing it at that point in time.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were a
Cool.
giant in their own right.
Mm. Yeah, these indoor programs, I really started like checking them out, and I'm like, these group
Mm-hmm.
even with sound sport, like these groups are really doing a great job, and
Oh yeah.
just like even seeing the growth in some of these groups and watching some other shows. I really wish All Age wouldn't be the same day as Sound Sport, but I know there's no other really way around that.
Yeah. Uh, my thought was always, hey, let's just put all age Sunday, but then NFL has to be like, but football. I've even seen like some people suggest, why don't we just build all age into the semifinals ticket? And it was like, well, that is definitely an idea.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it's gonna go with the changing of like. I know you guys are having on Friday morning. Like, have you heard anything like how early that's gonna be, or how early was the walkthrough when you guys did it in this past year?
I believe we were middle of the pack,
Oh, okay,
but still, it's been past 90-ish days almost. But I believe our call time to be there was about, it was about 10 o'clock, and we actually marched an hour later the day after sound check.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
How was
but
the
it was
whole? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but we also had half an hour for sound check only. Um, Whereas for the showtime, we were only allotted 15 minutes, so it went faster.
Okay. Yeah, I bet
Mhm.
definitely. I think it's going to be exciting to see as more groups get added to All Age, how
Mhm.
the timing is going to be adjusted for the championship weekend.
Yeah, it would be insane to see them put all age a week ahead of uh, world championships, but that's just a discussion. A bunch of people with a bunch of timestamps and scheduling and schedules have to figure out. Uh, we can only guess, but it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting to see how they handle growing into what all age can fully be.
Hmm. Have you heard anything about like what the plans are for after this 2 year trial period? Have you heard anything from the Cincinnati Tradition directors or anything about that like that?
No, so I think they're going to do. I'm just gonna free ball and say they're probably going to do an evaluation um, after this upcoming season.
Oh,
Say,
okay.
hey, is everything working the way we want to do? Is this
Hmm.
something we still want to keep on doing and keep on building interest in? Are more people checking this out exponentially as the activity, or as this faucet of the activity continues to grow and become comparable to regular drum corps in size or junior
Hmm.
corps in size?
Yeah. I think it would be crazy to go back to DCA. I don't think they're gonna leave DCI. At least I hope not.
I hope not either. I think DCA having the reins, as I said earlier, is better for the community and activity as a whole.
It just gives so much more, like you were saying, performance opportunities. Like there
Yeah.
are so many shows that were so sporadic, but now there's world class, open class, all age class shows. You can go anywhere and have more performances, like you were saying.
Hmm.
I think that's important for the groups as well to get better, to get more playing time, and it'll give the members a better experience as well.
Yeah. And I don't know. Personally, I kind of hoped DCI would eventually roll over to having some more regional shows. Um,
Okay.
yeah, because I know there are places in the US that get a little bit less love because,
Hmm.
hey, we're going to have shows all over this area. Then we're all going to go down to Oklahoma and Texas for a week. Then we're all going to
Yeah.
spread out again. To see it a bit more localized and regional, it's like, hey, we have the Eastern Midwestern tour or
Hmm.
the Southeast Southwest tour or whatever,
Yeah.
and to just get more groups out to compete, I think that would be great. Um, but also, I think it's a matter of selling tickets and making sure that we break even to have a DCI event here, which hopefully in the near future, um, more corps join and that drums up interest in other areas like middle of nowheresburg, Tennessee, and
Hmm.
Georgia, and all the various areas that don't have drum corps, but there are kids that like drum corps, and groups just start popping up.
Yeah. I hope that happens with all age. I really
Mhm.
want to see some all age out on the West Coast. See how that goes.
Yeah, I have a joke with my friends. But in like 10 years, do we want to start up VK again,
Hey,
or
it's
something
worth it.
as
It's worth
something
it.
akin to them?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd like to see somebody put a something. I know Jersey Surf did Surfadelic. Um, well, I have no opinions on the show because I haven't watched it.
Hmm.
Um, because, but I think I'll go remedy that after this.
Hmm.
But just more unserious, a little bit unhinged shows.
Yeah.
Just to see those a little bit more often, or a core who specializes in them, would
Hmm.
definitely be a grand spectacle for all to enjoy.
Yeah. I think that's what makes all age special because like
Mhm.
they don't really have to follow a super crazy storybook or something. They can just go out there. put some
Hmm.
crazy music on the field, and just have fun.
Oh yeah, which is always nice to see.
Yeah.
We have people who joke about getting bugles out for 1 year.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
What advice or tips do you have for people considering joining all age or Cincinnati tradition in general?
Um, Go up with an open mind to go with the flow because I've been doing the weekend gigs for about 3 years, 4 years now. Just be prepared to go with whatever and be ready to put yourself out there because the best advocate for you is yourself.
Okay, very true.
Hmm.
What is the tuition of Cincinnati?
Yeah, this past year, um, our tuition was 1,800, and I don't remember if that covered the audition camp fee or not. Um, but yeah,
Okay. Did that increase with the joining of all age of
uh,
DCI?
yes, but I think that's also partly due to members not having paid their fees in previous years, which hopefully becomes less of a thing, and I
Oh,
believe it is
okay.
becoming less of a thing.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that was a thing even.
I think it's some it it happens to a decent chunk of groups because with
Oh, okay.
TCA, um, they weren't. I don't really remember if there was even strict members had to be paying full or just paid to march.
Okay.
I know DCI is also a bit loose, but or not loose, but they have more of a structure because with DCI cores, it's all right, pay for the camp, then pay for your tuition.
Okay. Now, does DCI set that up, or do the cores they themselves set that up?
It might be a core to core thing. It might just be DCI. I don't know personally.
Oh, okay.
This is just speculation on my part.
Okay. Have any rules changed as the core from DCI A to DCI?
Roles as in leadership.
Just in general, like with props and stuff, and or any of that stuff change?
So yeah, this year uh, we had we had more of a process. Uh, I was on the scaffolding team. We had scaffolding team. Drum majors took care of their own stuff. The guard took care of our two rolling stages that we got mid. No, we got them right before Canton. I want to say like a week or two before Canton for the Blue Coats reveal preview show extravaganza, and Drumline takes care of themselves, and Pit takes care of themselves. Um, uh, the logistically, the only problem really is just we have so many people trying to do several tasks in one trailer. Um, that's the only real hard issue. But I think the only addition to crews we had this year was a tent crew who set up tents because there were more regulation. Joining DCI, I'm not sure if it was a safe sport or DCI thing, but there are more regulations in say it's 90 degrees and you're rehearsing on asphalt. Have a shade break, water break every so and so minutes, which is nice to see.
Now, is that coming from DCI as a whole then? That
Uh,
regulation?
I'm I've heard things that would say it does, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
but I
What
believe
are? Oh, go ahead.
no. I believe there are more procedures in place now to make sure members are taken care of properly than there
Oh,
were
okay.
in past years.
Mm. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
heard that DCA was kind of lax on that stuff.
a little bit, yes.
Okay. What are the audition dates for this year for you guys?
So far the the only camp I'm aware of is the November camp, which is November 24th. Um, I'm not sure if we have a location yet, but I can check that for you. Cincinnati ish and then .org. All right. Oh, hey, they changed the pictures. That's nice. Yeah. I don't believe we have a location set just yet.
Okay.
But it is November 24th, which is right before Thanksgiving.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Cool. Are you excited to get back into the swing of things?
Yes and no.
Oh, okay.
It's been nice having time off, but
Mm,
also I miss my friends.
yeah, I bet.
And whenever I get to see them, it's just a joy.
Mm. How does the your indoor schedule does that conflict with your DCI schedule?
Not really.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
there is I think this rings true across most of the most, if not all, of the independent groups who have members that are doing DCI. Um, but a lot of the times there will be like a tiny 1 day camp that you have to attend, or a callback camp that's online. Fortunately, we don't have online callback camps because we're not that widespread yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, but our callback, yeah, technically callback camps um, are 1 day. They're Sundays, uh, 10 to 5, 6, um, and it's essentially just repetition of we'll have vision in the morning, we'll have music in the afternoon. There's an hour for lunch, and we're going to teach you how to play and or march and or both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, is a callback camp, is everyone invited to that or just certain people?
Um, as long as we have contract spots open for the group, everybody is welcome to join.
Okay.
Uh, I don't believe we really filled out the core until the last weekend still.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Okay.
yeah, we just
Very
had some
cool.
slight drill changes that closed off spots and made forms look nicer. Um,
Oh, okay. Nice.
yeah,
Nice,
but
nice.
everybody is welcome to audition. I don't think I've seen people be turned away unless they're nasty,
Oh, okay.
to simply put
So
it.
they'll basically take anyone.
Yeah, as long as you show up wanting to be a part of the activity and to better yourself, I don't see why
Oh,
you
cool.
couldn't.
Nice, nice.
Mhm.
Have you heard anything like about any changes for this coming up year at all yet or not?
I don't have a clue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. Any closing thoughts before we close out the podcast today?
Um. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, uh, if you want to join drum corps, do it. The hardest part is showing up. After that, it gets considerably easier.
Yeah, I bet. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right, Daniel, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. And
Yeah.
thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of The Roundup. And I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and look for more episodes. Thank you, everybody.